Welcome to Easy English Boost. In today's lesson, we're going to learn about pronouns, the smart little words that save us from repeating nouns again and again. A pronoun is a word used instead of a noun. The word pro means for, so pronoun means for a noun. Let's look at an example. John is absent because John is ill. You can hear the repetition, right? But if we say, John is absent because he is ill, that sounds much better. Here, the word he replaces the noun John, and that's what a pronoun does. Let's explore different types of pronouns with simple explanations and examples. Let's go. Now let's learn about something called an antecedent. An antecedent is the noun or noun phrase that a pronoun refers to. It gives meaning to the pronoun and helps avoid repeating the same noun again and again. For example, Emma loves reading. She spends hours at the library. Here, the noun Emma is the antecedent of the pronoun she. So why do we use antecedents? Because using pronouns like he, she, or they instead of repeating the noun makes your speaking and writing smoother and easier to follow. Sometimes pronouns don't need an explicit antecedent. Why? Because the meaning is already clear from the context. Let's look at some quick examples. I forgot my laptop at work. I is the speaker. No need to mention who it is. We are watching a movie tonight. We could mean your family or friends. It's understood. She is baking cookies. She refers to someone already obvious in the conversation. They will be joining us today. They is clear from earlier talk or shared context. So here's the key point. When the pronoun's meaning is clear from the situation, you don't need an antecedent, especially in spoken or informal language. Now here's something interesting. Sometimes a pronoun comes before the noun it refers to. Let's look at some examples. It was delicious, the cake that Emily baked. Here, it refers to the cake which comes later. They were amazing, the students who performed on stage. They refers to the students. She was late again, Rachel, my coworker. She means Rachel here. We couldn't believe it, the news about the fire. It means the news. So what's the key takeaway? This structure is okay to use as long as the meaning is clear from context. But be careful. If it's not clear, it might confuse your listener or reader. 2 common antecedent mistakes. Let's look at mistake 1. No clear antecedent. This happens when the pronoun has no proper noun to refer to, leaving the meaning unclear. Examples: I want a job in politics because they make democracy work. Who is they? The noun is missing. Fix. Because politicians make democracy work. 2. After Alex helped Jordan with his homework, he went to bed. Who went to bed? Alex or Jordan? The pronoun is confusing. Fix. After helping Jordan with his homework, Alex went to bed. 3. When the baby dropped the toy, it broke. Did the baby break or the toy? Fix. The toy broke when the baby dropped it. Key point. Always make sure your pronouns clearly refer to a specific noun. This keeps your writing clear and easy to follow. Now let's look at mistake 2, ambiguous antecedent. This happens when a pronoun could refer to more than one noun in the sentence. Examples: Maria called Sarah after she finished the report. Who finished the report? Maria or Sarah? Fix. After finishing the report, Maria called Sarah. The teacher spoke to the parent because she was concerned. Who was concerned? The teacher or the parent? Fix. Because the teacher was concerned, she spoke to the parent. Daniel gave his dog food because he was hungry. Was Daniel hungry or was the dog? Fix. Daniel gave food to his dog because the dog was hungry. Key point: when more than one noun could be the antecedent, rewrite the sentence to make it crystal clear. Now let's look at another common mistake. Number 3, buried antecedent. This happens when the noun that the pronoun refers to is hidden inside a possessive phrase, like Maya's book or John's idea. Because it's not a clear subject, the pronoun seems to refer to nothing specific. Take this sentence. In Maya's book, she describes the culture of India. Wait, who is she? It's meant to be Maya. But Maya is only mentioned in a possessive form, not as the subject. So the sentence sounds unclear. Here's the fixed version. Maya describes the culture of India in her book. Much better. Now Maya is the subject, and her clearly refers back to her. Key tip: don't use a pronoun to refer to a noun buried inside a possessive phrase. Always make sure the noun is clearly stated before the pronoun. Let's wrap it up with some key takeaways. Always ask yourself, does the pronoun have a clear noun before it? Is that noun specific and not hidden in a possessive phrase? Is there no chance of confusion with other nouns nearby? Because here's the truth. Clear antecedents lead to clear writing and clear thinking. So always make your pronouns easy to follow. Your reader will thank you. Now let's explore the types of pronouns in English. There are several categories, each with its own use. Here they are. Personal pronouns like I, you, he, she, it. Reflexive pronouns like myself, yourself. Emphatic pronouns used for emphasis like himself, herself. Demonstrative pronouns like this, that, these, those. Indefinite pronouns like someone, anybody, nothing. Distributive pronouns like each, every, either, neither. Reciprocal pronouns like each other, one another. Relative pronouns like who, whom, whose, which, that. Interrogative pronouns used for questions like who, what, which. Compound relative pronouns like whoever, whichever, whatever. Exclamatory pronouns like what, used to show strong feelings. We'll learn each one with clear examples, step by step. Let's begin with personal pronouns. These are the words we use in place of specific names or nouns to avoid repeating them again and again. They refer to people or things, and they can change based on number, whether it's singular or plural. Person, first person, second person, or third person. Case, subject or object, and sometimes even gender. Examples: instead of saying Nina went to the store, we can say she went to the store. Or instead of saying me and my friends are going to the zoo, we just say we are going to the zoo. Personal pronouns help keep our sentences short, smooth, and natural. Let's now understand how personal pronouns work based on person. In grammar, person means who we're talking about. There are 3 types of person. First person, this refers to the speaker. For example, I, we. Second person, this is the person being spoken to. For example, you. Third person, this refers to the person being spoken about. For example, he, she, they. Each of these has a plural form too. I becomes we. He becomes they. You stays the same for both singular and plural. This idea of person helps us choose the right pronoun for the situation. Let's now look at how personal pronouns are used based on person. First, second, and third. First-person pronouns are used when the speaker talks about themselves. Examples: I love chocolate. This is my bag. We are going to the movies. Second-person pronouns are used when the speaker talks to someone. Examples: Is this your book? You all did a great job. Is this your book? Third-person pronouns are used when the speaker talks about someone or something else. Examples: He is a teacher. She won the contest. They are my neighbors. These changes help us speak clearly and avoid repeating names again and again. Now let's talk about number in personal pronouns. In grammar, number simply means is the pronoun referring to one person or thing or more than one. We have two types of number. Singular. This means the pronoun refers to just one person or thing. Examples include I, me, you, he, him, she, her, it. For example, she is happy. Here, she refers to one person. Plural. This means the pronoun refers to two or more people or things. Examples include we, us, you, they, them. For example, they are playing outside. They means more than one person, so always check if your pronoun matches the number of people or things you're talking about. Let's look at some quick examples to understand singular and plural pronouns better. Singular pronouns refer to just one person or thing. I am going to the market. He is my cousin. It is a nice day. Now for plural pronouns. Plural pronouns refer to more than one person or thing. We are learning English. They play football every weekend. The teacher gave us homework. Here's an important note. The pronoun you can be both singular and plural. It depends on the context. Singular. You are my friend, talking to one person. Plural. You all are invited, talking to a group. So remember, the number of a pronoun depends on how many people or things it refers to. Let's now talk about gender in personal pronouns. So, what does gender mean in grammar? Gender in pronouns shows whether the person or thing we're referring to is male, like he or him; female, like she or her; gender neutral, like they or them; or non-living, abstract, or animals, where we often use it. Here are some quick examples. He is my brother. He refers to a male. She is a great singer. She refers to a female. They are my classmates. It is gender neutral. It is raining today. It refers to the weather, something non-living. So always choose your pronoun based on the gender of the noun you're replacing. Let's now talk about gender in personal pronouns. So, what does gender mean in grammar? Let's break down the four main types of gender in personal pronouns. Masculine gender. This refers to men and boys. For example, he, him, his. Feminine gender, used for women and girls. For example, she, her, hers. Gender neutral, also called epicene. We use this when someone's gender is unknown, irrelevant, or non-binary. Example, they, them, their. Yes, they can be singular too. Neuter gender, used for non-living things, places, ideas, or sometimes animals. Example, it, its. Like it is a beautiful painting. So remember, pronouns change based on gender, and using the right one makes your meaning clear and respectful. Now let's look at how gender affects pronouns, especially in different persons, like first person, second person, and third person. Here's a simple breakdown. In the third person singular, we use masculine, he, him, for boys or men. Feminine, she, her, for girls or women. Neuter or gender neutral, it, for things or animals, and they, them, when gender is unknown or non-binary. In the first person, like I or we don't show gender. I, me, we, us are gender neutral. So, whether you're male or female, you say, I am a student. For the second person, we use you, and it's the same for everyone, no matter the gender. And sometimes, we use the impersonal pronoun one, like one should always be honest. This is also gender neutral and formal. So, the key takeaway is some pronouns show gender, but many are neutral and used for everyone. Let's look at some examples of gender in personal pronouns. He is my brother. This is masculine. We use he for a male. She won the spelling bee. This is feminine. She refers to a female. It is a powerful idea. Here, it is neuter, used for things or concepts. They work hard. This is used when the gender is unknown, non-binary, or plural. One should always be honest. The pronoun one is gender neutral and formal, often used in general statements. Important note: in English, only third-person singular pronouns show gender: he, she, and it. Pronouns like I, you, we, and they are always gender neutral. They don't change based on whether the speaker is male or female. So remember, gender matters only for third-person singular. Now let's understand pronoun cases. In English, pronouns change form based on how they function in a sentence. These forms are called cases. There are three main pronoun cases. Subjective case, also called subject pronouns. These are used when the pronoun is the subject of a verb. Examples: I, you, he, she, it, we, they. Objective case, also called object pronouns. These are used when the pronoun is the object of a verb or a preposition. Examples: me, you, him, her, it, us, them. Possessive case, also called possessive pronouns. These show ownership or possession. Examples: my, your, his, her, its, our, their. And the strong forms: mine, yours, his, hers, ours, theirs. Remember, use the subjective case when the pronoun is doing the action. Use the objective case when it's receiving the action. Use the possessive case to show ownership. Let's talk about subject pronouns, also called the nominative case. A subject pronoun is used when the pronoun is the subject of a sentence. That means it tells who is doing the action. The main subject pronouns are I, you, he, she, it, we, they. Tip: always use subject pronouns before the verb. Let's look at some examples. The noun John is replaced with the pronoun he. He is reading a book. The noun Mary and Susan becomes they. They are playing outside. Here, Mary and Susan together form a plural noun, so we use they. The noun the cat becomes it. It loves to sleep in the sun. So remember, use subject pronouns when you want to say who is doing the action in a sentence. Now let's learn about object pronouns, also called the accusative case. An object pronoun is used when the pronoun is the object of a verb or a preposition. That means it receives the action in the sentence. Object pronouns include me, you, him, her, it, us, them. Let's see how they work. The noun Peter becomes him. I gave the book to him. Peter is receiving the book, so we say to him. The noun Lisa becomes her. Tom asked her a question. The noun the children becomes them. She baked cookies for them. Tip: object pronouns usually come after verbs or prepositions like to, for, with, at, and so on. So remember, if someone is getting something or the action is happening to them, use an object pronoun. Let's look at common mistakes to avoid with object pronouns. Many English learners make this mistake. They found my wife and I. This is incorrect. The correct sentence is, they found my wife and me. Why? Because me is the object here, not the subject. Another mistake is, keep this between you and I. The correct version is, keep this between you and me. Here's the rule. Use I only when it is the subject of a sentence. If the pronoun is receiving the action or follows a preposition like between, use me instead. So always ask, am I doing the action? Then use I. Am I receiving the action? Then use me. Let's learn about possessive pronouns. A possessive pronoun is used to show who something belongs to. Instead of repeating the noun again, we use a pronoun. For example, this book is mine. We don't say this book is my book. We just say mine. Here are the main possessive pronouns: mine, yours, his, hers, its, ours, theirs. They do not need a noun after them. We don't say mine book. Just say mine. This bag is hers. That toy is theirs. It's simple and useful. Let's look at some examples of possessive pronouns in action. That jacket is hers, not yours. Here, hers replaces her jacket, and yours replaces your jacket. I forgot my notebook, so I borrowed his. His replaces his notebook. These pencils are mine. We don't say my pencils again. We simply use mine. That house with the red door is theirs. Here, theirs replaces their house. This seat is yours. I'll take the one near the window. Yours stands for your seat. We brought our snacks and they brought theirs. Theirs means their snacks. So remember, possessive pronouns replace nouns and show who owns something. Let's talk about possessive determiners. Words like my, your, his, her, its, our, their. Traditionally, we call them adjectives because they come before nouns. But here's the twist. Even though they come before nouns, they replace longer noun phrases and show possession, just like pronouns do. For example, is that the teacher's book? No, it's his notebook. The word his replaces the teacher and shows who owns the notebook. So, it's not just a determiner, it's also pronominal. Key point to remember: if a word shows ownership and replaces a longer noun phrase, even if it comes before a noun, it's still a pronoun in function. Let's look at the difference between possessive pronouns and possessive determiners. There are two types of possessive forms in English. First, we have possessive determiners like my, your, his, her, its, our, their. These are always followed by a noun, like her book or our house. Second, we have possessive pronouns, also called absolute possessive pronouns, like mine, yours, his, hers, ours, theirs. These replace a noun phrase and stand alone. like that book is hers or the car is ours. Quick tip: if there's a noun after the word, it's a possessive determiner. If the word stands alone, it's a possessive pronoun. That's the key difference. Now let's look at some important notes about possessive words. First, remember, possessive determiners like my, your, his, her, its always come before a noun. For example, this is my pen. Possessive pronouns like mine, yours, his, hers replace a noun phrase and stand alone. For example, that pen is mine. A special case is the word its. It is only used as a possessive determiner, not a pronoun. So we say, this is its toy, but we don't say, this toy is its. Instead, we repeat the noun. This toy is the cat's. Let's compare possessive determiners and possessive pronouns side by side. I. Possessive determiner, this is my book. Here, my comes before the noun book and shows who owns it. I do. Possessive pronoun, this book is mine. Now, mine replaces my book. It shows possession without repeating the noun. You, possessive determiner, is this your pen? Your comes before the noun pen and shows that the pen might belong to you. Possessive pronoun, is this yours? Yours replaces the phrase your pen. We don't need to say the noun again. He, possessive determiner, that's his laptop. His is used before the noun laptop to show ownership. Possessive pronoun, that laptop is his. Here, his stands alone and replaces his laptop. It still shows ownership. She, possessive determiner, I found her phone. Her is placed before the noun phone to show who it belongs to. Possessive pronoun, I found hers. Hers replaces her phone. It avoids repeating the noun again. It, possessive determiner, the cat licked its paw. Its comes before the noun paw and shows possession. It belongs to the cat. Possessive pronoun. There is no possessive pronoun form for it. We don't say this paw is its. Instead, we repeat the noun, like this paw is the cat's. We, possessive determiner. Welcome to our home. Our is used before home to show that the home belongs to us. Possessive pronoun. This home is ours. Ours replaces our home. It shows ownership without repeating the noun. They, possessive determiner. That is their project. Their comes before project and shows who owns it. They do. Possessive pronoun. That project is theirs. Theirs replaces the phrase their project. It shows possession. Why possessive pronouns are important. Possessive pronouns and possessive determiners are super useful because they help us avoid repeating nouns and clearly show who owns what. But they're also tricky. Many English learners make mistakes with them. Let's look at how to avoid one of the most common mistakes. Key point 1, never use apostrophes in possessive pronouns. Here's a mistake we often see. This book is yours. Correct usage. This book is yours. That chair is hers. Correct usage. That chair is hers. People add apostrophes in possessive pronouns, but possessive pronouns never need one. Words like yours, hers, ours, and theirs are already possessive. They're complete, so no apostrophe needed. Correct usage. We have ours, and they have theirs. Clean, simple, and no extra punctuation. Let's talk about a common mistake in English: confusing possessive words with contractions. First example, it's cold today. That's correct. It's here is short for it is. This is a contraction and it's fine. But now look at this one. The cat licked its paw. That's incorrect. Here, you're showing possession. So the correct word is its without an apostrophe. Its is the possessive form. No apostrophe needed. Another one, you're great. That's correct. Your means you are. Again, a contraction. But if you say you're great, that's wrong. Your is a possessive word, like your bag or your idea. It doesn't mean you are. One more. Whose house is this? That's a mistake. Whose means who is. You need whose for possession. So the correct sentence is, whose house is this? Always remember, possessive words like its, your, whose have no apostrophes. Contractions like its, your, whose always have apostrophe. Why possessive pronouns are important. Key point 3, gender-neutral problem with possessive determiners. Let's look at a situation where grammar and inclusivity meet. Here's a sentence that sounds outdated. Each student must take his ID card. But wait, what if the student is a girl? That's why we need a better solution. Option 1, make it plural. All students must take their ID cards. Now it's inclusive and sounds natural. Option 2, use their for singular. Each student must take their ID card. This might look plural, but in modern English, it's completely acceptable to use they or their as a singular, gender-neutral pronoun. It avoids assumptions and keeps the sentence clear and inclusive. Let's recap. Never use apostrophes in possessive pronouns like yours, hers, ours, or theirs. Don't mix up these. Your versus your. Its versus its. Whose versus whose. And yes, you can use they and their when the gender is unknown or when you're speaking generally. Let's talk about reflexive pronouns. A reflexive pronoun is used when the subject and the object of a sentence are the same person or thing. In simple words, when someone does something to themselves. Example, I cut myself while cooking. Here, I and myself refer to the same person, so we use a reflexive pronoun. Reflexive pronouns always end in self for singular and selves for plural. The reflexive pronouns are singular, myself, yourself, himself, herself, itself, plural, ourselves, yourselves, themselves. Use them only when the subject and object are the same. Let's look at more examples and common mistakes next. Let's look at some examples of reflexive pronouns in real sentences. I looked at myself in the mirror. The word myself refers back to I. I did the action, and it came back to me. She taught herself to play the guitar. Here, herself reflects back to she. She was both the teacher and the learner. We enjoyed ourselves at the party. Ourselves shows that we had fun. No one else did it for us. The cat cleaned itself. Itself refers to the cat. The cat did the action to itself. You should take care of yourself. Yourself points back to you. You're responsible for your own care. I hurt myself while cooking. Myself shows that I caused the injury to me. Reflexive pronouns always reflect the action back to the subject. Let's talk about why reflexive pronouns matter. Reflexive pronouns are special. We only use them when the subject and the object are the same person or thing. For example, I hurt myself. Here, I did something to myself. But here's the most common mistake. People use reflexive pronouns just to sound formal. But that's wrong. Like saying, if you have any questions, speak to myself. That sounds fancy, but it's incorrect. Key rule: use reflexive pronouns only when the subject acts on itself. So remember, if no one is acting on themselves, don't use myself, yourself, or themselves. We'll look at more examples to make this super clear. Let's match subject pronouns with their correct reflexive forms. When we say I, the reflexive form is myself. I accidentally cut myself. For you, we say yourself in the singular. You should take care of yourself. For he, we use himself. He blamed himself for the mistake. She becomes herself. She taught herself French. It turns into itself. The dog hurt itself. Now the plurals. We takes ourselves. We enjoyed ourselves at the beach. You, plural, becomes yourselves. You all must behave yourselves. And they becomes themselves. They introduce themselves to the class. Key point: only use reflexive pronouns when the subject and object are the same. We'll look at some common mistakes next, so you don't make them. Let us look at common mistakes with reflexive pronouns. 1. Common mistake 1. Wrong. Sarah blamed myself for the error. Right. Sarah blamed me for the error. Right. I blamed myself for the error. Reflexive pronouns like myself can only be used when you are both the subject and the object. Rule: only I can do something to myself. Common mistake 2. Wrong. The manager called John and myself to the meeting. Wrong. Kindly email the report to the client or myself. Correct. The manager called me and John to the meeting. Correct. Kindly email the report to me or the client. These errors happen because people think myself sounds more formal. But that's a grammar trap. Remember, reflexive pronouns should never be used just to sound polite or professional. Let us see some bonus tips. Reflexive pronouns are not stylish upgrades for me, you, or him. They have a specific role. Use them only when needed. The antecedent of myself must always be I. So, if I didn't do the action, don't use myself. Common error alert. Incorrect. He prepared the report by himself. Correct. He prepared the report by himself. And finally, don't fall for this mistake. Myself is not a formal version of me. It might sound fancy, but using it wrong sounds ungrammatical. Let's talk about emphatic pronouns. They look exactly like reflexive pronouns, but they serve a different purpose. They add emphasis. We use emphatic pronouns to stress who exactly did something. The emphatic pronouns are myself, yourself, herself, himself, itself, ourselves, yourselves, and themselves. Examples: I myself cleaned the house. This means I and no one else cleaned it. The king himself made the decision. That means the king didn't ask others. He made the decision personally. They're also called intensive pronouns because they intensify the meaning of the sentence. But remember, if the pronoun is there just to add emphasis, not to reflect the subject back, then it's emphatic, not reflexive. Let's see some examples of emphatic pronouns in action. I baked the cake myself. Myself emphasizes that I did it. No one helped me. She cleaned the room herself. Herself adds focus. It was she who cleaned it, not anyone else. He fixed the car himself. Himself tells us he didn't get any help. He did all the work. We built the tent ourselves. Ourselves shows that we did it. We didn't hire anyone or get help. The cat opened the door itself. Itself highlights that the cat, not a person, managed to open the door. They made dinner themselves. Themselves emphasizes that they did the cooking. Nobody else was involved. Remember, emphatic pronouns are not necessary for the sentence to make sense. They just add strong emphasis. Why are emphatic pronouns important? Why do we use emphatic pronouns? To highlight exactly who did the action. To make writing more expressive and clear. In speaking, we use tone or voice to show emphasis. But in writing, emphatic pronouns do the job better than just using bold, uppercase, or underlining. But be careful. Many learners confuse emphatic pronouns with reflexive pronouns because they look the same. Reflexive pronouns. The subject and object are the same. Emphatic pronouns just add emphasis. You can remove them, and the sentence still works. Let's try it. She baked the cake herself. Remove herself. She baked the cake. Still correct. So herself is emphatic. Not needed for grammar, just for emphasis. Key rule. An emphatic pronoun must always match the subject or noun it emphasizes. Nothing random. Let's talk about demonstrative pronouns. These are words we use to point to specific people or things. They tell us where something is, near or far, and how many, singular or plural. The 4 demonstrative pronouns are this, that, these, and those. Use this for one thing that is near. For example, this is my phone. Use that for one thing that is far away. For example, that is your book. Use these for more than one thing that is near. For example, these are fresh mangoes. And use those for more than one thing that is far away. For example, those are her shoes. Simple, right? Next, we'll look at a quick comparison chart and common mistakes. Stay with me. Now let's look at singular demonstrative pronouns. We use this and that when we talk about just one thing. Use this for something close to you. Example, this is my favorite mug. It means the mug is near me. This tastes delicious. Maybe I'm eating something right now. It's near. It's happening now. Use that for something far away, in distance or time. Example, that was an amazing movie. The movie is not happening now. It's in the past or already done. So remember, this equals near and singular. That, far and singular. Let's continue with plural demonstratives next. Let's now look at plural demonstrative pronouns. We use these and those when we talk about more than one thing. Use these for things that are near. Example, these are my new shoes. The shoes are close to me. Maybe I'm holding them or wearing them. These look expensive. Again, we're talking about something nearby and in plural. Use those for things that are far away, in distance or time. Example, those are the mountains we climbed. The mountains are not close. They're far away, maybe in the distance or in the past. So remember, these equals near and plural. Those equals far and plural. Let's go over an important tip for using demonstrative pronouns clearly. Tip: only use this, that, these, or those when the noun you're pointing to, called the antecedent, is obvious to your listener or reader. Common mistake: unclear antecedent. The team will receive updates and tasks. These will be explained tomorrow. Here, it's confusing. What does these refer to? Updates? Tasks? Both? The team will receive updates and tasks. These tasks will be explained tomorrow. Now it's clear. You're referring only to tasks. Bonus tip: when you start a sentence with this is or that is, always pause and ask yourself, what is this? If you can't answer it instantly, then your reader won't be able to either. Clarity is key. Let's understand why demonstrative pronouns like this, that, these, and those are so important. These pronouns must clearly point to their antecedents. That means the specific words or ideas they refer to. If the connection isn't clear, your sentence can confuse the reader. Let's look at two good examples with clear antecedents. Liam missed his flight. This ruined all his plans. Here, this clearly refers to missing the flight. Success requires discipline. That is why few achieve it. In this case, that refers to the entire idea in the previous sentence. So always make sure your demonstrative pronoun is pointing to something obvious and clear. Now let's look at what happens when demonstrative pronouns are ambiguous, when it's unclear what they're pointing to. Bad example. My sister sent gifts and a letter. These are beautiful. What does these refer to? The gifts, the letter, or both? Time is money. That is something we often waste. Is that referring to time, to money, or the whole idea? If your reader has to guess, it's not clear. Let's fix this problem using demonstrative determiners. That means using a demonstrative plus a specific noun. My sister sent gifts and a letter. These items are beautiful. Check. Now it's clear we mean both. Time is money. That concept is something we often waste. Clear. Now we know that refers to the entire idea. Always aim for clarity, especially when pointing to more than one thing or a whole idea. Let's quickly recap what we've learned in part 1 of our journey through English pronouns. We explored personal pronouns like I, you, he, she, we, they, used instead of specific nouns. Possessive pronouns, mine, yours, his, hers, ours, theirs, showing ownership without repeating nouns. Reflexive pronouns, myself, yourself, himself, etc., used when the subject and object are the same. Emphatic pronouns, the same forms as reflexive, but used for emphasis. And finally, we looked at demonstrative pronouns, this, that, these, those, used to point to specific things. Key takeaway: these types of pronouns help us express ownership, ask smart questions, replace repeating words, and make our communication sharper and clearer. Get ready for part 2. We'll go deeper into the world of pronouns, where we'll continue with indefinite, distributive, reciprocal, relative pronouns, and more. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe to Easy English Boost so you never miss an update. See you in the next part.